Okay, so now because I'm a bit fed up with editing the film and doing a talk over, I'm going to try just painting and talking over while I'm painting. See how it goes. So what I've done, this is this is the bottom left hand corner of the painting. I did paint in a kind of very brightly coloured parrot that was going to be flying into the sort of landscape, and but I painted it out. It looked horrible. Didn't look right. I just wanted to get a bit of perspective on the whole thing. So what I've done is I've gone took a photograph in the nearest cover of a bit of twisted roots and vegetation sort of stuff, and I've used that as a basis for. I mean, I haven't copied it exactly. I've just used some of the elements from the photograph in the picture. I've usually I just draw straight onto the canvas with this time I painted it on with some buff titanium because it was a dark background, but it could be any colour I start off the paint with. Sometimes I use a watercolour pencil to draw something, to start off drawing, and then I can just wash it off and start again if it doesn't look right. So here I'm just adjusting this bit of twisted root here in the photograph, and it's a bit weird painting. Even when I was doing it, even when I was doing the voiceover and that, I was listening to music while I painted, because I always listen to music while I'm painting, or sometimes the radio, you know, the crap on Radio 4 that I listen to, or sometimes at weekends, and you know, the early shows on the Radio 6, Radio 1 Extra. But the advantage of having this studio, which I've heated, it's electrically heated, so I can get up at 7 o'clock in the morning and start away, and now the clocks have just gone back, so I got a bit of light here this morning. I'll make a cup of tea, have some breakfast, and then I battle on with it. So usually I'll be listening to music, so you know, at the moment the music I've been listening to, it always changes, but bit of Handel at the moment I'm into. Handel, kind of funk. I don't know where it comes from exactly. It must be late 70s, I suppose, something like that. You know, Aaron Neville, Isaac Hayes, all that kind of stuff. And then also I listen to sort of a modern London jazz, like Oscar Jerome. I mean, it always changes. I mean, I won't be listening to that in 3 weeks' time. But it's all a bit smooth what I'm listening to at the moment, and a bit obvious, which is weird for me, because I usually like things with big surprises in them. Like a bit of Messiaen and things like that occasionally. Because I think when it comes to painting, you have to put in random notes, and then you go and you work with that. I'm sure when all these famous composers were making music, they would hear a kid messing around on the piano with the drums or something, or not the drums, with messing around, making music, kids singing, people singing in the distance. They'd hear something that attracted their attention. It's the same with painting, really. You want something a bit random. Okay, you know, if the painting's not going very well, I like to chuck a bit of paint at it, see what happens. You know, a happy accident. But with this one, I'm just floundering around at the moment. This is kind of going quite well, I think. We shall see. And the idea is just to give it a bit of perspective, and the great thing about painting is that you can adjust stuff all the time. And when you're painting from a photograph, you just use elements of the photograph, and you can move everything around in different places. Here I've got a line of well, it's a bit of honeysuckle, in fact, but I've put it all across the painting there, just to bring the rest of the painting into this bit of the composition, just to join up the composition a bit. And when you're painting, you're thinking all the time about I mean, the most important thing to me is I don't want it to look like anybody else's work. It has to be mine. If I start to see something that I've seen before in a painting, I think, oh no, that's no good. It has to be my own. If I see something that's like my painting, I don't care, because that's the big influence on my life, on my painting, is my own stuff and what I've discovered and learned as I've gone along. So the thing is to avoid, I've always felt that if you avoid painting like other people, not that I could of course, painting like other people, then you're on the right track. It doesn't really matter if nobody else likes it, it's whether it pleases you or not. And on the whole, I think that's why you start painting, because I didn't see painting that I liked, so I had to do it myself, to please myself. I mean, I love the old masters and stuff like that, and a couple of modern ones, well, not modern, they're last century now, aren't they? Jackson Pollock and Francis Bacon. They're the great painters of the last century, I think. And I like, Rembrandt, Rubens, all that kind of stuff. I even like some of the, I like the very early stuff, like Van Eyck and stuff like that as well. And I like, I particularly like kind of Nigerian, Benin bronzes and all that kind of stuff. I love that African art. But there we go. I'm on my way with this bottom corner of the bottom corner of this painting. Anyway, I've got to. It's easy when it's easy to find the subject matter when I can just go outside and look. And if I can either bring it in, if I can pick it, or if it's trees and that, I can just take a photograph and bring the photograph in and use that to look at. And then outside my window here, I've got there are loads and loads of birds flying around all the time. And because I'm sitting in here and occasionally glance out the window, you come across a lot of birds that that you didn't know. All the shy ones that creep around in the undergrowth are outside the window there. Some of them aren't so shy, like wrens come in if you leave the door open, come and eat all your spiders and your butterflies hanging up, and grumble when you try and get them out. But But blackcaps, willow warblers, all that stuff, they creep around. In fact, it's the end of October now, and I saw, believe it or not, I saw a willow warbler just outside the window the other day. Don't know what he was doing here. He's a month late and he's going off to Africa. Okay, so I'll try this and see what I think of this, doing it this way.